Welcome to the Church of Thomas, Divine Humans 2:11:11. Something that happened in the early church is that angels had always been represented. They had always been messengers of God. They had always been good. Jesus told us that there were some that didn't obey God and fell and became demons. But on the whole, angels were those that you should listen to. There were cults that worshipped angels instead of God, but that's sort of human. You want something that's a little closer to you to worship instead of something that's totally unknowable. Now, one of the things that the Trinitarians did is that they changed the dynamics so that it wasn't just respecting angels. Suddenly they were lower than us in their estimation. Here are some verses that might help you to understand. Reconciler Gospel of Thomas, verse 13. Jesus said to his students, "Whom do I remind you of? Who do you think I am?" And Peter said to him, though you recant later because of pressure from John, "I see you are a righteous angel." Matthew said, "You are a wise philosopher." Thomas said, "You are my master, and more I am not able to say." Jesus acknowledged their answers. "I am all of the things you say and more, but I am not your master, but a servant like you will become when you fully know the one. Because you have freely consumed my knowledge, you have become drunk from the bubbling springs which I have shared. I share what you can understand at this time." Verse 15, Jesus said, "When you meet one that is born of woman, but shines from within, they are messengers or angels from the one. You will know them by their fruit of unconditional love." 23, Jesus said, "There will be a time when I shall choose among you. I shall choose 1 out of 1,000 and 2 out of 10,000. Those that I choose will stand with us in the one as the next generation of angels." And the last one is Reconciler Gospel of Thomas, verse 50. Jesus said, "If someone asks you, 'Where do you come from?' say to them, 'I am from the light, a place where the light established itself through its own accord. The light is easily seen through its images for earth, angels.' If they ask you, 'What proof do you have of this claim?' say, 'I practice and know unconditional love.'" So the concept of angels being attached to unconditional love and for working with God is well established. The problem is that the Trinitarians wanted to be more than angels, closer to God. It's like the youngest child in a family going, "Well, I'm mommy's favorite." Well, by making human beings ascendant and by making angels to bow down to human beings, it changed the dynamics. It changed it from a family hierarchy where we really should listen to our older brothers and sisters to we're better than anybody else out there, therefore we can get away with anything. It created a spoiled brat mentality. And unfortunately, one of the ramifications of that is because we are God's chosen and God's only, and there is nothing between us and God in the hierarchy, it meant that we felt that we had a right to hurt other creatures and to not be good stewards of this earth. A lot of the persecution of non-Christians also comes from this. If you are not worshiping the God that we have, even if it may be a corollary of the God that we have, you're not quite right. You're like the angels. You need to bow down to us because you're heathens. And we don't believe that in the Church of Thomas. We believe that we're all children of God. And better yet, that angels are not the enemy. We're supposed to be listening to them. We're not supposed to worship them, but we are supposed to be listening to them. One of the cultures that took angels to a higher level than humans in not necessarily a good way was the Hindus. When India was being invaded, they prayed long and hard and asked God to bring them protectors. And in their tradition, an army of multitudes of angels came down and defended them. And we don't know the direct connection. These may have been angels. These may have been people who were inspired by God. But that is how the caste system developed. Because the people who came in and said, "We are angels of God and we will defend you," they did what they said. They came in, they defeated the enemy, and then they established themselves. And they're called the Brahmins. It became a caste system where they were the closest to God. An example, angels. Because of their status, they are worshipped, and that's wrong. There is no creature on earth that is lowly. There are no humans on earth that are subservient to another. That's the natural order of a family. Listening to your older brothers and sisters doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means maybe they've been around a little bit longer. So what I advise is that you accept the idea of angels as working for God. And if they're not working for God, then they're demons. And if they're demons, obviously don't listen to them because they're working for the wrong side. But they can be helpful in nudging you out of the way of a train and telling you, whoa, this is not the right person for you, or this is the right thing to do. Because God is everywhere, but sometimes he speaks through angels. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Angel alive.